Hey there, guys and gals. This is Patrick Gallagher from Patrick Gallagher Blues Guitar Lessons. And I thought, since there's a lot of beginner guitar players out there, that I would show you a song. I know you're probably learning pentatonic scales. If you've looked up on YouTube or in just Google pentatonic scales or blues lead playing, you'll find pentatonic scales. And what I thought I'd show you is a song, Texas Flood by Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's the video version, not the original 1984 version that I'll show you. It's a little simpler, and if you're an intermediate player, you know, I might make some more videos later on just to point out some of the differences in the intro between the two songs. But before we get into the song, I do want you to Google G major pentatonic scale. All right, and you'll see that there's 5 shapes on your fretboard to play the G major pentatonic scale. And the position that I want you to practice that will help you with this song is I think it's called the second position, where your second finger starts on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and your pinky will play the note on the 5th fret on the 6th string. So from G to A, right? And you're playing this. I won't go into all this, just Google it. Messed it up a little bit there, but it's basically I like to add a couple of notes. But basically, that's the position you're going to be playing in. If you practice that, you'll be playing pretty much the scale that we're starting off in. And so, I'll just play the song for you slowly so you can recognize, first of all, what we're going to study, okay? So this is the whole intro, and of course I'm going to take 2 videos to show you this whole thing, but here we go. All right, so that's pretty much the intro as he played it in the video version of the song. And so the way we'll play it is we'll just play the first part. We'll play this part. Okay? In this video, that's what I'll show you. So let's start by putting your pinky on the 5th string, 5th fret. And that's the very first note of the song. Okay? And then the second note, we're going to put our first finger on the 4th string, right underneath the 5th, right? And it's going to be on the 2nd fret. So it's from the pinky on the 5th to the 1st on the 2nd. From the 5th string to the 4th string. Okay? Now the third note is our pinky is on the 4th string now, 5th fret. Okay? That, by the way, is your G note. That's the root note since we're in a G major scale. Okay? So those are the first 3 notes. All right? So practice that. I don't know where you are as a beginner. Maybe you've had a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or maybe you're just starting to play today. If you're just starting to play today, practice this a couple of times. Just pause the video and practice that, okay? Alright, so now we're going to go to the next part. So after we play these 3 notes, we're going to bar our finger across the first 3 strings on the 3rd fret. We're going to push down as hard as we can. We're going to use our thumb in the back to pressure, you know, to kind of squeeze, right? That's what they call a G minor, 3-note G minor, okay? And with our second finger, we'll do is, after we strike those, we're going to put our second finger, we're going to hammer it down as hard as we can on that third string on the 4th fret. Right? And what we're creating is a G major, a 3-note G major chord. Okay? Alright, so what we want to do is, if that seems hard to you, just practice that. Alright, forget about the first 3 notes for a minute and just practice that. Just go. And practice getting all 3 notes, all 3 strings at the same time. Okay? Practice it slow. Alright? So what we want to do now is let's add the first 3 notes and play that chord at the end, okay? So starting with our pinky on the 5th string, 5th fret. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Now, like I said, if you're just starting to play and you need some time to practice that, pause the video and just practice this much. Alright? If you've been playing a little bit longer and you get in this pretty well, then the next chord after this is the A minor 3-note. Okay? And all we do is we take our 3rd finger and we put it across the first 3 strings of the 5th fret. Okay, first 3 strings of the 5th fret. That's the next note. So again, let's start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now notice I kind of stuck the ring in there. Alright, mainly for effect because we're going to come back to this chord. Okay, so we're going back and forth, right? So we're going like this. So you guessed it, that's the next chord back to the one we were just on. And we're going to play it the same way. Alright, we're going to strike it just like that, okay? So let's start from the beginning again, right? Start. Now again, if you need some time, pause the video and practice that for a little bit. Last note is back to this G note with our 3rd finger on the 4th string, 5th fret, okay? And when you do that note, when you play that note, you want to give it some vibrato. I keep my thumb like Stevie did over the top of my fretboard, right? So I can kind of learn how to muffle those notes when you need to. But for today, we're just going to do this vibrato. And kind of use your wrist and your finger to go, you know, kind of wiggle that string up and down as fast as you can. Okay, take some practice, all right? So we're going to play it slowly from the beginning. Ready? 1 and 2, 3 and 4. All right. So far we have 1, 2, 3 notes plus this chord. This chord. Back to this chord. Notice how I'm keeping my fingers all. My first finger plays any note that's on the 3rd fret. My second finger plays any note that's on the 4th fret. And my 3rd finger will play any note that's on the 5th fret, just like this, see? And my pinky, if I had a note to play down there on the 6th fret on any string, then I would just do that, right? So when we're doing these 3 chords, it was really 2 chords played back and forth, but To get that next note, see how my finger just falls naturally down, and I can keep this chord while I sound that note with my third finger, okay? So we'll do it again slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now I just want to talk about the picking hand. As you're going down, right? Pick down, that's what I do. Then as you do this chord, I pick down all 3 notes. But when I do this chord, I come up. So you want to go up, back down again, and then I just strike down, come up, okay? So I go down, so I go down, down. The reason I go down is because on the next guitar move that we're going to do, all right, we're going to make a muffle sound. All right, we want to make that, we really don't want it to sound. It's kind of tricky to do. My trick is, first of all, you want to get yourself set up to play the very next chord. So after we do this muffle sound, there's a chord that we're going to use our pinky for, okay? Remember I said that the first finger would play any note that's on the 3rd fret, and the second finger would play, so that's how we're going to play that chord, okay? So we already have our 3rd finger down here when we did this note, right? Right? So now we just put our pinky down on the 2nd string, 5th fret. But here at this point, don't press down. Just put it there lightly, and kind of bend your arm, you know, your wrist, so that this finger is touching the 1st string, just on top. And it's just lightly touching this string. So the first 2 strings are muffled. Right? Of course, even then, like even lighter than that, right? To get it to muffle, because if you put any kind of pressure on it, it's going to make that sound. You don't want that. Now, I got this finger all on light, right? And I'm aiming for just the first 2 strings or 3 strings. I'm not trying to come back. When I come up, I'm not aiming for all these strings. So you don't want those to sound, all right? So what you want to do is just like that, okay? Come up like that. So you've got some practice to do to get that, all right? So let's practice it really slow from the very beginning up to that point where we do that muffle sound, okay? Let's just do that much right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Just like that. All right, let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so pause the video and practice that a couple times, right? And if you need to just practice, just keeping your fingers lightly on the strings like I showed you. Okay, so where your fingers should be, one more time, I'm going to review. 3rd finger is on the 4th string, 5th fret. Your middle finger, just kidding, I don't mean to do that, but 2nd, that's actually 4th fret on the 3rd string, okay? Then a pinky on the 2nd string, 5th fret, and very lightly, just keep your 1st finger over the 3rd fret like that. That's actually helping you muffle, okay? All the fingers are muffling. Just lightly touch. Just have them on there very lightly, okay? Now, since they're already in position, after you do this, all you do now is push down on the 3rd finger, middle finger, and pinky. Don't worry about the 1st finger, just leave it where it is. Doesn't have to do anything. Alright, so there's your next chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to play it like this. Down, down, right? And then stop the ringing, okay? So we're going to stop the ringing, alright? So let's practice what we have so far. This is the first half of the introduction. I'll do another video where I'll show you the second half of the introduction. But I think it's important just to practice this. I think if this video is probably long enough. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like that. Take some practice to get that muffled. Not the sound. I mean, I'm trying to touch it lightly, but it's still making a note. It's still making a sound. There we go. See? That's what it should sound like right there. Alright? So let's do it again. Do it a couple times, okay? Real slow. Practice along with me. And then just keep rewinding this video and keep practicing it until you feel like you're getting it, okay? Do it as slow as you want at first, alright? You could go as slow as this if you want. Right? Go that slow if that's what it takes, okay? Go even slower, it doesn't matter. Just go at the pace that's comfortable for you. Today it'll feel hard. If this is the very first time you've ever tried this song, it'll feel hard. Tomorrow when you practice it again, it might still feel kind of hard, but it'll start to get a little easier as you get to the end of the practice session. Then maybe practice it again later that afternoon. It'll feel easier. And then the next day, and every day you practice this, it's going to feel a little easier for you. And then over time, if you just keep working on it, you'll actually start to speed up. Okay? All by yourself. So let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, real slow. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I hope that's a help to you. Text me any questions down below the video if you have any, and I'll try to answer them. Alright, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in video 2 for this introduction. Take it easy.